Hey everyone, so this is my USD find. I got it for, I think it was about £95, and this is the high voltage battery out of the Hyundai Ioniq hybrid, and it's also used in some Kia hybrid models as well. And it consists of 16 cells in 4 modules, and that's 6.5 amp hours, 1.56 kilowatt hours at 240 volts. So it's 64 cells in total in series. So it's a fairly powerful battery, and it's not even that heavy either. 1.56 kilowatt hours is okay. I want this for an electric motorcycle project, so I'm probably going to need more of these anyway, probably 2 to 3 of them, because the battery in the electric motorcycle, which I'm going to make up, is going to be 396 volts, which is a fair amount of voltage. So the way this pack seems to work is you've got this big management unit here. I think all the cells are actually attached to this, and this just does all the balancing. But I also suspect that these are management modules themselves. You've got all the wires coming in there, and then there's a load of wires coming out. So I'm thinking these are maybe just junction boxes, but I wouldn't put it past them if these were actually full-on management units themselves, which is just communicating with this main system here. If anyone has reverse engineered this unit, please let me know, because that would be very useful for the project. I have measured the voltage of this battery. It was sitting at 240 volts, which is its nominal voltage, so that's okay. It's not like it's been like sitting for ages at a really low voltage and it's like been destroyed or that. So there will be capacity loss, obviously, because it's a 2017 battery, but apart from that, it seems in reasonable condition. Now, you could probably easily take the modules out of this, and right there you've pretty much got a functioning electric bicycle battery, 16 cells. So if you get a suitable controller for that, then you can make a very, very powerful electric bike, because this thing you can discharge it over 30 kilowatts max, which is a huge amount of power. You can charge it that fast as well. It's all disconnected and deactivated. That's a service disconnect there, so if that was in, then you'd have 240 volts at those terminals there. But even with it disconnected, just never touch those, just in case there may be like a short somewhere else or leakage to ground. It's safe just not to go poking about in there until you've disconnected everything here and taken all of these out. But yeah, I'm going to release a detailed document about this battery, how to disassemble it. It will include like pictures of all what's going on, but it's primarily going to be a guide just on how to fully disassemble this properly. So I will release that to my GitHub at some point, and I'll probably just put that in the description of this video. So here is the battery in a state of almost total disassembly, revealing the individual modules themselves. Now they're quite light, and as you can see, the cells are in there, and if you look through it, it's maybe possible to see that they are just ever so slightly puffed up, but from a battery from 2017, which has had that amount of power going through it, that's to be expected. These batteries do have puff sensors in them. Well, the entire pack did. It had one which sort of sat up here. If the batteries were to swell too much, it would trigger the sensor and then report an error. The cells are welded together, and I'm thinking it's not going to be wise to remove these and make up a custom pack, because this here is designed to safely support the batteries and make allowances for them puffing up. Now, if you were to cram all these cells together into a pack, then like a standard hobby LiPo battery is, then if cells start swelling up, or even if it's subjected to impact, it's more likely to go on fire. But if you keep it inside this, then it's going to be a lot safer. So yeah, this is how it's looking. I tried to power up the fan and it just would not work. I just supplied 12 volts to the black and the red wire and it would not turn on, so I'd imagine there's some sort of control interface for this, but it would probably be quite a good useful fan for something if there's a way to start it up. So I'll probably just take this apart and figure out how it works. And here's just a better overview. This is just the pre-charge relays, the contactors really. I think that's all this does. Potentially current sensing, I'm not sure. I've not taken it apart yet, but there doesn't appear to be too much to it at the moment. There's a very large power resistor there. No idea how they connected it to the inverter though. That's quite a small thin connection for something that's handling upwards of 30 kilowatts. But yeah, these are very high power batteries, high performance, designed to be air cooled. So I reckon you could lift a drone with this no problem, with the amount of power it can deliver. So if you were to find, I don't know, some 16 cell LiPo charger, just put whatever balance plug you want on there, and then you could connect this up to a large drone, an electric bike, whatever you like, and you'll have a good high powered battery. It might not last that long. It's only 6.5 amp hours, 16 cells, and those 6.5 amp hour cells are so large simply because the amount of power they can deliver. It's now possible to get small cylindrical 6.5 amp hour cells, which, well, in that capacity range, which are just so much smaller, but these are big just because of their massive power delivery potential. And these here, it's a junction box. There's nothing inside this apart from just a connection from there to there. There's no management electronics. So all the cells connect to this central unit. So this is going to handle all the cell balancing, the temperature sensors, the battery puff sensor, and potentially switching on the contactors and stuff as well. So if this can be reverse engineered and controlled by like a custom CAN bus module, then it's a very, very powerful battery management system to have. Maybe it can only do 64 cells, I don't know. Maybe it can take more. So that's all going to have to be figured out. So that's going to be quite an exciting project if it works. Now, integrating this all into my motorcycle, I don't know how I'm going to do that, but they will have to go into their own box. I don't even think it will take in external air really. I think we'll just have these stacked up in a sealed box, and it will have an air heater inside the box so that this battery can be used in winter. These batteries cannot be charged if they're at 0 degrees Celsius or below, because it just destroys them. Electroplates, there's an electroplating reaction which takes place inside it, which is irreversible and can make the battery unstable, and it can go on fire. So if you want more details about this battery, please see the document which I'm uploading to my GitHub. You can have a look there, and that will hopefully give you all the information you need. You could probably make the cells into a sort of more compact pack if you want, but you're going to have to cut through the welding. I've done this before with batteries like this. You're going to actually have to cut through the aluminium just after the weld so that you can sort of retain some nickel on both tabs, because I think one tab's nickel, one's aluminium. The aluminium just cannot be soldered to, or you could use it if you've got the specialist welder or a laser welder, which most people just do not have. So Yeah, I hope that you find that interesting. If you find it interesting enough, please head over to my GitHub and you will be able to see the instruction document which I've created on how to disassemble this properly and safely.